Yeah.
and talk
I
to an
made an
operator.
appointment yesterday to go meet with our accountant.
I like your mug,
Right?
Leanne.
Thought it was perfect for today's call.
Yes,
I should have done that. That's what I should use every time we record.
we should. We
We should
should.
plan
it the other day, and I was like, I'm gonna start using this mug. The downside is I
I
drink
do
coffee
use it.
so fast I have to have my press right by me so I can keep filling it up.
That's why mine's like this, because mine's like, yeah. Yeah. I cycle through. I have all my mugs, and I cycle through all of them.
Yeah.
I give them all equal opportunity.
Well, I thought I ran the dishwasher last night, but I didn't push the start button 2 times, so it didn't run. So
2 times.
I did that the other day too, and I went back to get some clean dishes out, and I was like, "Oh no,
that was me this
I
morning.
forgot to hit
I had
start."
washed my press. Yeah.
I don't remember ever doing that before, forgetting to hit start. I don't know.
Now they're so complicated. Like Leanne said, you got to hit them 2 times and press play, or gotta. I mean,
And on one leg.
I'm like, it's so complicated. Can't you just hit start?
Right.
All
I
the
follow I follow this girl on Instagram that's like all about the 80s, and she's still got all this stuff from the 80s, and it's really much more like toys and things like that you experienced from the 80s. But I love watching her channel, and it just, I don't know, I for so many years of my life I didn't miss that at all. I didn't miss the 80s, and for some reason in the last few years the simplicity of that time has just been on my heart. I miss it so much. We live in such a complex tech world.
all of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
True.
And there's so much, like, it's not only tech stuff, it's almost like it overwhelms every part of your life through, I think, the tech stuff. So it's like it impacts your life unknowingly.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy.
It's just the instant gratification world that we live in. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it is.
And now we have AI. Who needs anything because you just ask AI.
Tyler loves Chat GPT. He loves it. I won't go on there.
Who does?
Tyler.
Oh.
That's right. I haven't used any of the AI stuff. I'm just like, no, thank you. I want to think for myself.
I know. I'm the same way.
Oh, it's just so
kind of scary.
And maybe that's just a generational thing, but I just don't like it.
How do you remove it from, like, it's on all my social media stuff? Like, I don't.
Oh, you just
I don't even know how to remove it. Huh?
Don't use it.
Well,
you have the option to use it or not use it.
I want it gone.
The other day on our walk, and like all the universities, as soon as ChatGPT went public, where you could use it, ChatGPT went public, all these universities had to come out with their own software to analyze papers that were coming in to see if they were strictly AI generated or not. And they were popping people left and right for cheating.
Good.
I know, but it's just it's so silly. Like, I don't know.
It had me thinking the other day, I was working on kidney stuff, and I said, I'm not even needed anymore. They got AI. But that's how, that's how backwards it is.
Well, from a conspiracy perspective in my brain, I feel like they've generated AI to dumb everybody down. Because you can type something into an AI chat and it's going to pull all the information from the internet, but it's going to pull from the primary internet sources. So you go type something in looking for the Declaration of Independence, and it's going to pull whatever is out there for the government to feed you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's a tool also to dumb you down, yes, but also to help you believe what they want you to believe.
Yeah.
So, because that's what they're going to show you.
Mm-hmm. Look what happened with Google's AI. When you would type something in about the Pilgrims, and it would bring up all ethnic people. There weren't ethnic people in the pilgrimage, but everything came up with a Black person, an Asian person, a Native American person. Like, there was no Caucasian, maybe one in the entire platform when they first released their AI.
So we are creating an AI for kidney in the kidney world. And they're using it with all the universities. And so they're using it, and I'm not saying I'm a fan, but it's happening. Like there's no control over it.
Yeah.
But they're using it to diagnose people and to treat people with different illnesses. And so it's AI based. But the AI technology does not have enough information to even pull from. So they're basically having to feed it, and that's what they do. They build them by what you
Mhm.
put into them.
Yep.
Not all of them can like pull from the internet. They're only based on what this particular subset of people who built their AI put in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's limiting, and I don't know how they can use it to diagnose medical patients. I'm like, we struggle to talk to the patients and to get them to understand just by, our conversations. How is AI going to be able to interpret it and it be an accurate diagnosis? But it won't
is
be long.
happening
It's
in the medical
interesting.
industry. I've heard that.
Yeah, it's interesting because my functional medicine practitioner has somebody come every 3 to 6 months or whatever to for heart health, and their programs are AI, but they hook you up and they're monitoring different things with your rhythms and whatnot, and it's taking all that information in and your blood pressure and the whole thing. And when they're done, it comes out fairly accurate, because if you then follow up, they'll say, go follow up with a cardiologist, and they may have found some issues, but then they also are, saying, well, you're in a good spot and just, do these things or whatever. So it's, yeah. So they can do it, but it again, like you said, it's what they feed it with. So if they're feeding it with conventional medicine, because that's all they know, then you're going to just get more of that. I had a friend that used the Google one, and I said something to him. I said, well, ask it about President Trump. Ask it if he really won 2020. And it came back and said, I cannot talk about those kind of things.
That's funny.
I know, and so we were asking it different questions, and he goes, "Yeah, there's a lot of things that if it's political, it won't talk about it." And I said, "Well, ask it from the opposite direction." And he said, "No, I don't want to train it to believe that." I'm for that guy. Oh yeah, it's about training. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's scary.
The world of AI.
The scary part about it is, I mean, I think it's like what we talked about years ago. I remember years ago, we used to say, I'm worried that computers will take over the workforce. And I mean, to me, that's what AI is doing.
It's going to
In
take
a
a
lot
lot
of
of jobs away. I agree with that. There are certain fields that it's not going to be able to intercept, but it's definitely going to take some jobs away. Tyler and I have discussions about it all the time because I'm in the same mind frame as you guys. I don't want anything to do with it. Like, I have no interest in using it. But Tyler believes that it is not as smart as people think it is. And it's not going to evolve as fast as people think it's going to. He thinks that there's a fear around it based on movies that we've seen. You look at like iRobot, that Will Smith movie, and people just have this idea that that's what's going to happen. But I'm gonna tell you what, China has got some really weird humanoid robot AI things that they're building right now that creep me out.
I think I mean, just listening to that, it's kind of scary, because when you go back, and I've seen this in different places where they tell you what's going to happen through movies.
Yeah.
So are they preparing us for that also with like iRobot? I don't know. Trying to normalize us to believing that that's, the way that it should be. But I mean, I do know that programming wise, it's pretty phenomenal, the snippets of code that it'll put out.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, AI has been used for 30 years in the military sector. It's just now being released for public consumption. But
just look at the Jetsons.
right. That was long before iRobot.
Well, and,
You
and
know,
that's interesting, though, because I've heard about them having like things for flying vehicles now. That there's, I mean, even in, I think our county, they've talked about having, I don't know what they call them, teleports or something like that, where they can land. So, are we coming there? Are we going there? Go ahead, Brie.
I'll
Sorry.
pass.
no, I was just gonna say, like, I wouldn't underestimate the technology because back in the 80s, we never thought we'd have a cell phone that we could just carry around and talk to anyone, let alone have the internet on it, let alone have these portable computers. You know, they used to take up a whole building. So it's just like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
like discount,
Look
like,
at,
who
Yeah.
knows what in 20 years from now, what the technology will be like, you know, things that we couldn't even fathom now, just like we couldn't then, you know. I know that was more like 40 years ago, but still, I don't know.
well,
There's still not
look at
music.
Dick
Surprising.
Tracy. Dick Tracy with a watch.
Yeah.
You could, yeah. So I mean, there is, and I think there were things with the phones also that they predict. You know, they put stuff out there for the phones as well. And I don't know if that was more some of the space movies or TV shows. So, but I mean, when I started in college, we used a Commodore 64 in my house, my apartment, to be able to dial in, because we had 3 software developer people that were, you know, working on our degrees, and that's what we used to dial in on. We had a very slow modem, and they only had so many lines that you could get into, so that the places that you could go and work to get your stuff done, the little rooms that they had, all these, because people didn't have, you know, computers. We would go and we would sit and work, and we would sign up for 1 hour at a time to be able to use one of their computers. And there was a log sheet of being able to sign up, and you can't write a program in an hour. So it's like you had to keep getting back on the list when you could. And at 11 o'clock, when that room closed, everybody raced home for the few lines that they had to be able to dial in and still continue to work on the internet at the school.
That's funny.
So it's crazy. That's how far it's come. And I also used, one of my first classes, we had punch cards. So we put a line of code on a card, it punched holes in it. You've probably seen the long cards with all the numbers and letters and stuff on them, maybe not. And you would have a box of them. God forbid you drop that box. Mixes up your program.
Oh my
having to put it back
gosh.
together. But yeah, we would take those, we'd feed it through the reader, then we would get, you know, whether it would work or not, you know, what we were doing. That was just one of my classes. I had another class that had cards, and we figured out how to get around that. So, but yeah.
Oh,
And we were
my
given an
gosh.
account. We were given an account of money that each time you ran those cards through, you could own, it used up a certain amount of money. And we were only given so much money to be able to get our work done. So, or, you know, to get that project done.
Wow.
So that's how far, you know, basically we've come in
That is
technology in a short period. That's from the 80s. So just saying, yeah, dating myself.
I remember getting my first computer in 96, and it was all dial up.
Mhm.
It was amazing. It's amazing. Maybe it was later than that. It was later than that. It must have been like 99. 99.
Do you guys remember like how we used to have to do everything old school? Like you had to carry maps, you had to order everything through mail order. Like if you didn't have a catalog or you didn't know about a company, then you just you didn't order from them. You just shopped
Finger Hut.
local. Like it's just like
Oh yeah, ABC catalog.
Yeah.
or you send in your check with your order sheet and like and then you'd have to wait. You didn't know when it was coming.
Yes.
Like you had to
Yeah.
give phone numbers, you had to make phone calls to order things like and find out where places were and like write down directions they would give you and like I don't know, it just such a different time. There was just so much more, I don't know, connection with people. You had to actually go places.
Yeah.
Busy signal, bing, 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 bing. bing.
Yes.
We're sorry.
We were-
This line is
so-
no longer in
It was,
service.
yeah.
I set an
It was
appointment
actual times when
yesterday.
you could actually call an operator
Yeah.
and talk to
Made
an
an
operator.
appointment yesterday
you know.
to go meet with our accountant in Colorado next week because we're going out to Colorado to deal with our coffee shop stuff. And so our accountant that we first started with isn't there. He's there. He's working remote. So it's going to be a Teams call with the accountant, the bookkeeper, and then we're going to have one person that we're meeting in person there. And so Tyler was like, well, we could just get on the Teams call. And we were talking about that, and I was like, I'm so sick of everything being internet driven. Like, I love face-to-face business, and that's how you just build relationships. I want to go in there and sit down with them and have that conversation because we're taking our business back from them. But yeah, it was crazy. It's just crazy. Everything is so digital today. I mean, look at us.
It's true.
I can't tell you the thousands of dollars that I spent calling my mother and I talking on the phone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, before you had cell phones and whatnot, where it was, unlimited calling.
Yeah.
We
It was a
spent
fortune.
thousands of dollars. In college, she would call, collect. I would, not accept the call. And then she would, I would call her back. Or
Yep. All the
vice
long
versa.
distance
I'm
calling
sorry.
plans.
I'd call her and collect, and then she'd call me back. But yeah, there was, long distance calling plans. I mean, we would spend hours on the phone.
Oh yeah.
So it was, yeah.
I remember when the 976 numbers came out, the chat lines. Y'all never did the nine. Okay, so when I was in I don't know, 6th, 7th grade, the 976 numbers came out, and my grandmother worked for a phone company. So I would stay at her house a lot during the week and on the weekends while my mom was out doing her thing. And I would call those 976 chat lines, and I ran her phone bill up to like $300 or $400 one time. It's like $3 a minute to be on those calls. I got in so much trouble.
What were you chatting about?
Right?
No.
So I tell you what
It
I
was all kids. It was totally geared toward kids. It was just a bunch of kids on a line talking. It's probably music and who knows. It wasn't anything gross that
funny.
you see today.
I was such a bad kid, y'all. So, you could call the operator and you could say, hey, I want to make a collect call and put it on this number. They would do it. And so I was so bad. I could be at somebody else's house and make a collect call and put it on my dad's number.
Oh.
So his phone bill got ran up to like $300 or $400. Dude, I got in so much trouble. And then when I was growing up, I did not have a phone. We didn't have a phone. And so I figured out my neighbor had a phone box. I could look through the window and I could see the box on their home, like on their back outside of their home. And so I opened it and it had where you could plug a phone in. So I did. So I had my neighbor's phone when they were gone. But what I did not realize is that when you did that, it did something like it surged so much that it would knock the street's phones out as well. I don't know how that happened, but somehow it did. And so I got busted. But I mean, when the phone guy comes over to look and you've got a phone cord ran from one house all the way into another, then
That is funny. Oh my gosh. That's
I think I was
amazing.
like in the 7th grade. Call that bad or
Things
call that
we did for technology when we were kids versus what we have to do today.
I know what's crazy is that I remember in college going to use the payphone to call my mom and tell her I wasn't coming home, after classes today or whatever,
Yeah.
which is like so fun.
Oh,
Go to
yeah.
use the payphone.
Had to always have a quarter in your pocket just in case you needed the phone, right?
You gotta
Yep.
call somebody,
In case you got somebody.
Yeah. Those were the good old days. Oh, the good old days. Mm.
Yeah. I think it can go simple today. I think it just takes, I've been trying to simplify. It takes a lot of effort. So like you were mentioning the dopamine hit, Lynn, and I'm trying to not use my phone so much, like trying to not start using it before 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm not doing the best, but it is effort is there.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I find that phone is my priority and it should not be. Because I'm really not getting anything else done. And I feel like in my brain I'm working really hard, but I'm not getting anything done. I'm circling in the phone. That phone has taken control over my life. It's like it is my life and it's not. So we'll see what happens from that. But if somebody's listening and you can relate with that, one of the things that I found is if you don't first thing in the morning to put your phone like away from your bed and then set a time that you're going to start looking at it so that dopamine hit, you can prolong it rather than waking up with that instant gratification hit, because by the time the day ends, you're like out of dopamine and you're just dragging. I don't know if y'all feel that or not, but I'm like dragging, but I'm still in that phone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
Yeah, sometimes I'll put it on airplane mode and just leave it in airplane mode.
Oh,
And that way it's not, things coming through that you're now like, I gotta look at it.
Oh yeah. Mine stays in the kitchen overnight. We don't sleep with our phones. Well, Tyler does, but I keep mine out of the room.
I too. I used to
I
not.
have it in, yeah. Yeah. No, I have it in there and I have it on airplane mode when I sleep so that it's not polling right next to my head, because I use the alarm, but I also have one of those, what is it? RFID bags, and I
Faraday.
throw it in the bag
Faraday.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah, Faraday bag. Yeah, I put it in there so that, nothing can be sent back and forth from that phone.
I don't do any of those things. I'm just out here living in the danger zone.
What is the bag?
It protects you from the EMFs coming off your electronics. Because the phones today through 5G produce more EMFs than they've ever produced.
Yeah,
Oh, good for
I
your
turned that
brain.
piece off though.
Bad.
You can turn the 5G off your phone too.
Yeah.
So I don't use 5G. But yeah, it does affect
But I
your
do
brain.
agree with you.
You don't.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say you don't want it polling next to your head back and forth to the Wi-Fi all night long, because it's right near your head.
Mm-hmm. But I like that you're trying to minimize your morning phone usage, Julie. I agree with that. I should probably work on that myself. Some days I do really good and I get up and I oil pull. And while I oil pull, I read the Bible and I do all the good things. And then other days, it's not happening.
So oil pull is another interesting thing. It's a whole nother conversation, I guess.
It is.
I'd definitely like to hear more about it.
Sherry is the one who's the most consistent with it. I have not been consistent at this point. So I'm still waiting on the aha from it.
I don't know if you'll get an aha out of it, but I mean, unless you start having issues with your teeth, you might get an aha about it. Like if you have bleeding gums, you'll get an aha about it, because it will help that.
I'm using coconut oil to oil pull. It's supposed to whiten your teeth, and my teeth are so stained from coughing.
I know, that's why I've been using it for whitening my teeth too. But it's also like antibacterial, antiviral, like it's a cleansing type thing. So I
We
don't know
store
how
a lot
much
of toxins in our mouth.
detoxing it really does, but it's supposed to whiten your teeth anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I've
Yeah.
only done it a couple of times though. But my daughter's been doing it for a while and it helps her teeth a lot, actually. So like it's a lot healthier than fluoride.
True.
Oh, absolutely. Fluoride's not going to do any of that for you anyway. It's not going to whiten your teeth. No, it's just going to kill your brain. But yeah, there's there's actually a toothpaste that it's actually a tooth powder, and I will we can put a link in here for it. It's from a dentist that I started watching on Instagram, and it has different ingredients in it, but she has a whitening one also. And I understand that it helps with the whitening. So it has all different, sensitive teeth ones and, just different things, but I can't think of the name of the ingredient in it, that it's a really good for your teeth. It helps with remineralization of your teeth. Because your remineralization is just your body's ability to be able to fix your teeth. If it's got, cavities, they can heal just like bone heals.
So my understanding is eggshell tooth powder made with eggshell has that capability too. So
I think
Interesting.
there's a lot of, different things. Silica also helps.
yeah,
There's
we have a silica toothpaste that we use.
yeah, but I'll find that toothpaste and put it on, because I'm getting down. I am using a powder right now, and I'm gonna switch over to that one. So, but it's interesting because from what I understand, you just brush it on your teeth and you don't do anything else. You leave it.
Really?
Mhm.
I think that would drive me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a toothpaste that I've been using.
I don't. Yeah, I'll let you know when I buy it. So we'll
Okay.
do an update.
Is it just ingredients by chance? Because that's who I use. It's a powdered toothpaste, but it says remineralizing tooth powder. It's only like 5 ingredients in it.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of ingredients in it. What are the ingredients in that one that you're using? Do you know?
Hydroxopat something. It's a mineral that makes up enamel, and it remineralizes the teeth to reduce sensitivity.
That's
And then
the one.
have
It's
essential oil.
hydroxypate. It's like
That's
hydroxypate.
it.
Okay, yeah, that's what's in this tooth powder. Go ahead. That's the ingredient, and it's in mine that I have now too.
Okay, the ingredient is calcium carbonate, xylitol, bentonite. That name that you just said, Mineth Verdus, like a spearmint, leaf oil, peppermint oil, glutha something like a leaf oil, and then a leaf extract. Like it's all natural ingredients.
What's the brand on it?
Just Ingredients. We've been using Just Ingredients for about the last month for a few things, because there's only less than 5 ingredients, and all the things that we use are like real ingredients. So I'm a fan.
Interesting.
Nice.
Haven't heard of that
I've
one
heard
yet.
of it.
Yeah. We can put a link in there. I'll send you a link.
Oh, I wonder if that's the same company that makes, hang on. Is it this logo? It's just, okay. Just checking.
Never heard of either of those. I have a question for you ladies though. What kind of razors do you use?
Straight safety
Kind of
razors.
razors.
A safety
that?
razor?
Yeah, I don't use the lubricating razor strips anymore because I saw a podcast, or I saw a video about how toxic and dangerous they are.
Exactly. So
interesting.
what razors are you guys using? Like, I don't want to keep buying them from all these companies and stuff, but I'm afraid to try the real razors. I'm afraid I'm going to cut myself.
You won't. They make really good
Right.
safety razor, the actual razor itself, not the blade, but the razors. And you just to add it to it. You want me to show you what mine looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all, I would slice myself.
That's what I'm afraid of. I know, right?
I'll
I
pull
know,
all
which
the
is why I
skin
still
skin
use
off.
like the disposable ones, and I'm like, I don't want to use those anymore, but I'm worried.
So
Okay.
you just unscrew it. And then the top comes off completely. And then they come apart like this. And then the razor, they are crazy sharp. So you do have to kind of be careful, but if you grab it by the sides, it's just a flexible razor. And Tyler uses it too to shave his face. So we just buy bulk razors.
Yeah. Okay, so which company is that you bought that from?
The razor, or the blades or the razor?
I don't know, all of it. Are they different?
So Tyler buys the blades they're called Astra is the name of the blades. And I'd have to go through my Amazon account to tell you who the razor is from. I don't know.
Interesting.
We bought these years ago.
And you do okay shaving with it, like just a
Yeah, I
normal.
mean, I'm not gonna say I've never cut myself. I get waxed though in the areas that you are more delicate, which is probably not good, but it's just a lot less frequent. So I'm actually getting waxed next week in Colorado, but I've only cut my leg once with these. You just have to go slow until you're used to using it. And the thing about these, they're heavy. So the razor has to do the work. So you're guiding it, but the razor is doing the work. So think about like sharpening a knife. If you're using a, what's the thing called that you sharpen the knife with?
Knife sharpener.
Yeah, you're supposed to hold it at like a 20-degree angle.
A stone.
Well, not the
A
stone, anyway, you're supposed to hold your knife at like a 20-degree angle. So it's kind of the same thing with these. You hold it and you move it, but you let the razor do the work.
You're not pressing down on it like a regular razor.
No. And Tyler learned, you know how most razors, especially for women, have multiple blades. So he did a bunch of research because he was using disposable razors forever, shaving his face, and he would always get really bad razor burn. And so what he learned was those blades, those razors that have multiple blades, that first blade does the cutting. All the other blades just irritate your skin. So there's no reason to have multiple blades when you're shaving. One blade is all you need. It's just, it's a gamut.
The sale.
More is always better.
Sale.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in America.
More is better, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger the better.
So yeah, I was
And then-
terrified. I was so terrified of this razor.
I know,
So-
that's why I haven't ordered it. It's been like I've had razors in my cart for like a long time, and I'm like, I don't know if I can pull the trigger. I don't want to cut myself.
You probably will, but it's not like you're not going to cut yourself and bleed to death. I mean, it's a nick no different than if you were using a regular disposable razor. Because it's screwed in really tight. Like it would be impossible for you'd really have to just go whoosh for you to really cut yourself.
What about like scraping off my shin skin?
Ew, what?
You know, like it never fails. Like if I use a disposable razor or a cheap razor, I cut my shin. And you know how like it scrapes. Do y'all not do that?
No, but it's the same
No.
basic thing, right? You don't
I do not
apply a
push
ton of
that hard
pressure.
on a razor.
Yeah, you just barely apply
It's
pressure.
sharp, Julie.
I know it will. Like if I buy my razor, my stripped razor that's like whinging by using, then I don't do it. But like if I go out and buy just a cheap big razor, or not a big, but you know, like the cheap disposal, I will just it never fails.
Probably because you're pushing down on it so
Yeah,
hard.
you're just pushing too hard.
It's got to have weight, so you know.
Dang,
push
let's have a
down on-
podcast to
I'm
teach Julie how
thinking.
to shave.
Let's teach Leanne, teach all of us the learning curve. We need to learn how to shave with a real razor.
I just told you. I just taught you. Just let the razor do the work.
Okay, don't push on
Oh
it.
my.
Just
Don't push on
just
it.
gentle.
Seriously,
So
it will.
use your shaving oil. I like using oil
I
to
don't
shave
use
because
anything.
I think it
Well,
works better.
I use a natural soap called Pasha. There's no lye in the soap that I use, and I just use that. I don't use any kind of shave gel or shave cream.
I've been looking for something to wash with Pasha.
Yeah, sadly, Amazon, they only sell a couple of their scents, but Whole Foods, I don't know what their contract is with Whole Foods. They sell so many different scents of theirs. And then we shop at Sprouts most of the time, and Sprouts has a few of theirs. And the sea salt is my favorite. So that's what I use.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
I ordered
just use
groceries
castor
the other
soap.
day and had them delivered, and I ordered Dr. Bronner's eucalyptus soap because I couldn't get Pasha, and it does not agree with my pH at all. So I had to go to the store on my way home from the doctor yesterday and get some Pasha.
The Dr. Bronner's stuff is very drying and very like sort of harsh. You have to really you have to dilute it.
Well, I got a bar. I
I
got their
do.
bar soap, and it just does not. I don't smell good when I use
That's
their stuff.
interesting.
Mm-mm.
That's interesting because I'll use, excuse me, I do use Dr. Bronner's and I do dilute it. I have like this
Same.
recipe and I do put like a little bit of jojoba oil in it also, but it's
Yep.
coconut oil based also. So it has
Yeah.
oils in it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I haven't had a problem with it. I'll use it on my face as well. And I
Well,
haven't had a problem with
Oh
it.
yeah, me too. I just usually dilute it and it works great.
Yeah, that's what I do too, and it lasts longer. So
Yeah.
there's that, and I'll use that for shaving. The thing that I've been using for shaving lately, which works well, is I had bought, excuse me, I had bought some. I'm not going to say the brand. It was just shampoo and conditioner, and I'm actually using the conditioner to shave my legs with now to get rid of it. It's clean, but it works well. I just do a couple pumps out of it, and it helps with getting a good close shave. So I don't know, but I have those crappy strips, so now I got to look at that. There's
Yeah.
always something.
Yeah, those strips are. I saw a video. I'll see if I can find it on Instagram of someone who had tested those strips, and they're just horribly toxic.
Why am I not surprised?
They are bad. They're really toxic. I've known that for quite a while, but I just am like, I don't know what else to use instead. But you can peel them. Some razors you can peel the strips off and throw them away.
Yeah,
because they're just glued on there.
So I think that
That's a good point.
the shaving cream though will be an issue. I've tried to use coconut oil. I like the idea of conditioner, Sherry, but I've tried to use coconut oil and it just does not, I think with the pH, it doesn't work well. Like I smell like coconut oil. It almost has like this rancid scent to it after I've used it for so long in my sheets, in my clothes. I'm like, I cannot feel, I don't know if it was the type of oil I used or what, but it doesn't do well with me.
Some are have a greater scent than others also. So you probably have to look at the one that you're using.
I use the Alba something rather natural unscented shave cream, but I also just use oil, just like olive oil, because it's always liquid and it works really well for nice smooth shave.
That's cool. Yeah, the Alba is what my husband uses.
Yeah, my husband uses it too. Yeah, it works good.
The ABBA, that one.
No, ALBA.
I think Tyler's got Dr. Bronner's.
Yeah,
they have a shave cream or something.
I think they do. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to find good shave cream for guys, so I just end up getting Sam the one for.
You say shave.
Oh, nice. They do have one. Nice.
That's Dr. Bronner's.
Yeah, the first ingredient is organic sucrose, organic white grape juice, organic coconut oil, organic palm kernel oil, potassium hydroxide. That's what's drying about Dr. Bronner's. That's lye. It's just a better form of lye than lye. The other type of lye, there's two. Organic olive oil, shikakai, I don't know what that word is. Hemp oil.
I thought that was a music person.
What'd you say?
I said I thought that was some music person.
Yeah. It's relatively clean. It's got xanthan gum in it, but it's the cleanest shave oil or shave soap he's ever found. So
yeah, it's really hard to find men's shaving cream that is clean. Really hard. So
anyway,
My poor legs.
I keep going, I don't know about that razor and shaving my underarms. That's where I'm like,
I shave my underarms with it all the time. I just stand right at my bathroom sink and just raise my arms and look at the mirror and shave away. And I've never cut my underarms.
Really?
Never.
Mm,
Okay.
that's the one
Well,
I'm like,
I'm gonna have to pull the trigger, maybe.
I know it's super scary, but it's not that hard, especially if you just don't fight the razor and you let it do the work. That's the hardest part because we're so used to having those light, flimsy, disposable razors where we're constantly having to put forth all that effort. And with these, you don't. And I got lucky because Tyler's been using one for a lot longer than I have. So he taught me, right? He shaves his face with it. He puts that sucker on his face.
I know. I'm worried about shaving my knees. That's what I'm worried about because I cut my knees when I'm shaving.
oh.
You just
Like
have to
all
be
those
really gentle.
corners.
Just don't press hard. Don't press hard.
Well, you'll have to put your link to what you use for razor and blades in the show notes
I
so
will.
that we can all look at it.
I will.
I think I
So
can
we
save a
can
lot
when
of
we
money
make
if I
that
just
leap.
buy the razor that's not disposable and just change out the blades. Like I think you could save a lot of money,
Of course you could. Those
Oh, yeah.
disposable
Yeah.
razors are outrageously expensive now.
right? And then you're
Yeah.
not putting all that plastic in the, landfill from all the
Hello,
razors.
yes, carbon footprint, conscious.
Yeah. Right? It'll help with climate change, Bree.
Well,
Exactly.
I'm not worried about climate change.
I know. Just
I
joking.
am worried about toxins in our soil, though. I am worried about that.
No, I am too.
So, yeah,
Totally agree. With
anyway,
that. In our water too.
exactly.
I go there. Yeah.
Don't contaminate
Oh.
the dirt or the water or food supply. Anyway.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on this podcast today. We hope you enjoyed this conversation between us. It was really just kind of, here's who we are. Here's how we chat when we're not focusing on how to build a podcast for you guys. And technically it's a little behind the scenes, but this is our friendship and this is what it looks like. We would love to hear what you use for toothpaste, how you shave your legs, whatever you want to share with us, please do so in the comment sections below. And if you have any questions about products or anything like that, because we did focus a lot on the toxicity of products in this one, please let us know in the comment section below as well. We will drop links in the description notes. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. And we hope you find joy in your friendships like we do, because we had a lot of fun laughing today. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with all your friends and family. And we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.